France Farce. Nigel Farage burst into laughter about Barnier's decision to become the next president. Nigel Farage burst into laughter as he discussed Michel Barnier's decision to run to become the next president of France after years spent complaining about Britain seeking to control its borders more. Nigel Farage questioned Michel Barnier's manifesto as he noted the former EU Brexit negotiator had previously raged at Mr. Farage for his support of Brexit. Mr. Barnier announced earlier this week he will be joining the race to defeat Emmanuel Macron in next year's presidential election in France. Among the leading features of the Frenchman's plans was the proposal to shut down France's border for up to 5 years. The presenter said, Mr. Barnier has become the latest centre-right politician to publicly throw his hat into the ring for next year's presidential election with a promise to reconcile what he called a divided nation. Michel Barnier is running to be French president on, wait for it, an anti-immigration ticket. And he wants to restore the authority of the state. You couldn't make this stuff up. Mr. Farage continued, I thought he wanted to abolish the state. He always wanted the Star-Spangled Banner, and he wanted us to stand rigid for the European anthem. And he told in a coffee room I was narrow-minded and anti-business to be against the free movement of people. And now he wants to run for French president. With me, he was always very polite, haughty, but very polite. Mr. Barnier, who once served as France's foreign minister, is being closely watched by Emmanuel Macron's camp as he could attract support from the pro-European, centre-right electorate the president is targeting. During his presidential announcement, Mr. Barnier told TF1, in these dark times, I took the decision to run for the French presidency, to be president of a reconciled France. He said, I think we have to take the time for 3 or 5 years to suspend immigration. Overall, immigration policy does not work in Europe as it does not work in France. That's why I'm making this moratorium proposal, he added. The chances of the centre-right camp qualifying for the second round of the presidential election hinge on it unifying behind one candidate. Xavier Bertrand, who leads the northern region of Hauts-de-France, currently has the highest poll ratings among the mainstream centre-right candidates who have declared for the presidency. But he has until now ruled out participation in any kind of primaries, which still have to be defined and may not even take place. France's main centre-right party, LR, said this summer it would wait until the end of September to decide on the way it will select its candidate for the presidential election. Valérie Pécresse, another former minister and current head of the wealthy Île-de-France region, has vowed to take part in centre-right primaries as well as 2 other LR officials. A little over a year away from the next French presidential election, due in April 2022, attention is already turning to the politicians who may run in opposition to the incumbent, Emmanuel Macron. Owing to the implosion of the traditional two-party system at the 2017 election, when neither major party won a majority in the first round of voting, the field is crowded and divided between 5 major camps: Macron, far-right leader Marine Le Pen, far-left firebrand Jean-Luc Mélenchon, the centre-right, and the centre-left, including the Greens. Macron, Le Pen and Mélenchon are all but certain to be their slate's candidates. The other parties are expected to decide on their candidates by around the middle of the year, perhaps with voters being invited to vote in primary elections. A crucial question in the months ahead will be whether the centre-left and left can decide on a single candidate, without which the left-wing vote will likely remain divided, and the chances of a left-wing candidate making it to the second round low. Here is an introduction to the main runners and riders in the race to rule the EU's second-largest economy and its strongest military power.